Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. The diagnostic trouble code DTC P0405 indicates a low voltage condition in the EGR valve position sensor circuit. The EGR, or exhaust gas recirculation, valve is essential for reducing nitrogen oxide emissions by recirculating a portion of exhaust back into the engine's intake. In this scenario, the EGR valve position sensor plays a critical role in monitoring the position of the EGR valve, ensuring it operates within the specified parameters. If this sensor detects a voltage level below the expected threshold, it triggers the P0405 code. This may lead to performance issues such as reduced fuel efficiency or increased vehicle emissions. The sensor and its components are typically located near the EGR valve, which is usually found on the engine intake manifold. It's important to accurately identify the issue through the specified troubleshooting steps in order to restore proper functionality. DTC P0405 specifically points to the EGR valve position sensor circuit, indicating low voltage. This EGR valve position sensor is responsible for detecting the actual position of the EGR valve. Its functionality is vital as it helps the engine control module, ECM, in managing the EGR valve's operation, which is key to minimizing harmful exhaust emissions. The sensor operates by sending voltage signals based on the EGR valve's position back to the powertrain control module, PCM. Typically, the EGR valve and its position sensor are located near the intake manifold within the engine bay for ease of access. If voltage levels fall below the set threshold, often measured below 0.537 volts, the system identifies this as a fault, resulting in the activation of DTC P0405. Several potential causes can lead to the P0405 DTC being triggered. Firstly, poor electrical connections could prevent the EGR valve position sensor from getting the necessary voltage for proper operation. Loose or corroded connectors at the EGR valve or PCM may result in inconsistent signals. Secondly, an open circuit, potentially caused by damaged wiring or disconnections, can disrupt the flow of voltage between the PCM and the EGR valve position sensor. This open circuit creates a break in the electrical path. Lastly, a short to ground in the wiring might lead to the sensor receiving an incorrect voltage, further complicating the operation of the EGR system. Diagnosis must proceed with caution to identify these faults accurately. When experiencing DTC P0405, drivers may observe several noticeable symptoms. Most prominently, the check engine light will illuminate on the dashboard, indicating a fault has been detected by the vehicle's onboard diagnostic system. Drivers may also encounter poor engine performance, which may manifest as reduced power or sluggish acceleration. The engine might not respond promptly to throttle inputs due to improper EGR valve operation. Additionally, increased emissions may occur as the engine struggles to optimize combustion due to malfunctioning EGR components. As such, monitoring these symptoms is essential for timely corrective actions to mitigate damage and improve overall vehicle efficiency. The first step in troubleshooting DTC P0405 involves confirming the fault and verifying conditions. Begin by switching the vehicle to the on mode, which will engage the vehicle's electrical systems without starting the engine. Then, utilizing the HDS or Honda Diagnostic System, measure the voltage parameters of the EGR valve position sensor. It's crucial to check that the voltage reading is consistently below the threshold of 0.537 volts during this process. If the current conditions match the expected lower threshold, the failure is confirmed, prompting further troubleshooting steps. Conversely, If the voltage readings are normal, investigate intermittent failures, which may suggest issues such as poor electrical connections. In Step 2, we focus on verifying the integrity of the VCC2 wire, which supplies voltage to the EGR valve position sensor. Start by turning the vehicle off to ensure safety during the testing process. Disconnect the EGR valve's 5P connector to isolate the component from the circuit. Next, turn the vehicle back to on mode without starting the engine to measure the voltage between test points on the EGR valve connector. The measurement should be taken between specific female terminals, with the expected reading approximating 5.0 volts. If this condition is met, you have confirmed that the VCC2 wire is functional. Should the voltage fall short, it indicates an open circuit that needs repair between the PCM and the EGR valve. The third troubleshooting step concentrates on checking the continuity of the EGRL line, which is essential for proper function of the EGR valve position sensor. As before, begin by turning the vehicle to the off position. Next, you will need to jump the SCS, Secure Communication System, line using the HDS, waiting more than a minute to ensure that the system is prepared for the test. Disconnect the PCM connector C51P to separate the control module from the circuit. With the EGR valve 5P connector and the PCM connector both disconnected, check for continuity between specific terminals on the EGR valve connector and a body ground. If continuity is present, a short in the EGRL wire is confirmed. If absent, the wire remains intact, prompting you to advance to the next troubleshooting step. Step 4 requires continued assessment of the EGRL wire to ensure its continuity. This involves checking the same test points used in the previous step, focusing on verifying the electrical connection between the EGR valve 5P connector and the PCM connector C51P. Ensure that the vehicle remains in the off mode throughout this process. If continuity is confirmed between these test points, it indicates that the EGRL wire is functioning correctly, and you can safely proceed to the next step. However, if continuity is lacking, this indicates an open circuit that needs addressing. Repairing the wire between the PCM and the EGR valve is critical for restoring proper circuit functionality. In the fifth step, we check the internal circuit of the PCM to ensure system integrity. Begin by connecting the specified female terminals from the EGR valve connector with a jumper wire. This allows for direct power supply to the sensor. Reconnect the PCM connector C51P and exit the SCS mode, ensuring the system operates normally. Once all connections are secure, turn the vehicle to the on mode again and measure the voltage of the EGR valve position sensor. This reading should still be less than the 0.537 volt threshold. If it remains low, it may indicate further internal issues, whereby it is prudent to consult authorized service information or consider substituting the PCM. If symptoms do resolve upon substituting, the original PCM should be replaced. The final stage involves confirming that the repairs have been successful. This begins by rechecking the status of the DTCs through the HDS to ensure that no codes, including P0405, are present. If the code reappears after repairs, further inspection is needed to evaluate whether the EGR valve or its circuitry required replacement. After successful confirmation, conduct a test drive under various conditions to validate the vehicle's performance. Observing how the engine operates post-repair is critical in determining whether the issue has been wholly resolved. Consistent performance with no code reappearance will indicate success, ensuring that the P0405 can be officially cleared from the vehicle's systems. To prevent future occurrences of DTC P0405, proactive maintenance duties should be carried out. Regular electrical checks are pivotal in ensuring the health of the EGR valve position sensor circuit. This includes inspecting the quality and condition of all connections, as well as verifying that there is no corrosion or wear that might disrupt electrical flow. Additionally, frequent inspection of connectors at both the EGR valve and PCM enhances overall system reliability. Performing EGR maintenance, such as cleaning the valve periodically, also helps in maintaining optimal function. Keeping these preventive measures in mind can significantly reduce the likelihood of DTC occurrences in the future. In summary, diagnosing DTC P0405 involves an organized approach to identify and rectify issues within the EGR valve position sensor circuit. Recognizing symptoms early, such as the check engine light or performance issues, allows for timely intervention. By adhering strictly to the outlined troubleshooting steps, technicians can systematically test the electrical pathways, ensuring no broken connections or shorts are present in the wiring. Preventive maintenance practices also play a critical role in sustaining vehicle health, minimizing the risk of similar errors in the future. Awareness and education about the EGR system's operations and potential failure points are essential for maintaining vehicle efficiency. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.